Hello students, welcome to TV Learning Program. My name is Benon. I will be taking Senior 1 students in biology. Dear students, you're welcome and I'm very happy to be with you. I request you to pay attention and follow all the steps of this lesson and actively participate in this lesson. In addition to that, get your pen and a book so that you can note or you note down important points of this lesson. Dear students, what do you see on this diagram? What do you see on this diagram? I need your answers. Excellent. You can see stones. We can see sand. Behind we can see rocks. And my question is, what do you think this place could be? This is a desert place. You can see no plants. Animals are nowhere to be seen. This is because this place is extremely hot. Dear students, what do you see on this second diagram? We can see stones, water flowing, then we can see trees, meaning different plants, then we can see different animals. And from here, my question is, which diagram of the two do you like most? It's your opportunity to choose the one you like most. Yes, some are going to choose the first diagram, others are going to choose the second diagram. But as far as biology is concerned, which is the study of life, of living organisms, this is the best. Where we see different plants, where we see different animals. So that is biology. Remember, when we talk about biology, we think about life of living organisms. This is easily understood when you're defining the term biology. You say biology is the study of living organisms. From there, we are going to see how these organisms, plants and animals, respond to environment. Our lesson is from Unit 9, which is Tropic Responses, and the lesson is Types of Tropism. Our objective is explain different types of tropism. Dear students, make sure by the end of this lesson, you are able to explain different types of tropism. Let us go through key terms, important terms, before we start describing different types of tropism. Dear students, what do you understand when biology teacher or your classmate or any other person talks about the term tropism? Tropism refers to plant growth towards or away from a stimulus. That means when the plant grows towards the stimulus or when it grows away from the stimulus, that is what we call tropism. And are you able to give different examples of stimuli or stimulus when it is one? That's very good. If you're able to give different examples of stimuli or stimulus, that is extremely good. Now, when part of a plant grows towards a stimulus, This is called positive tropism. That means when the plant grows or moves towards the stimulus, that is what we call positive tropism. When a plant part grows away from a stimulus, this is what we call negative tropism. We also have another term, sensitivity. This one we talk about it when we are talking about 7 characteristics of living organisms. Dear students, do you remember 7 characteristics of living organisms? Yes, we can talk about nutrition, respiration, movement, excretion, reproduction, and sensitivity. So, what do you understand when you meet the term sensitivity? Sensitivity is the capacity of an organism or sense organ to respond to stimulation, or the ability of an organism to respond to the stimulus. Dear students, do you know examples of stimulus or examples of stimuli? We can give different examples, like temperature. This is a stimulus. Sunlight is another example. Water is a very good example. Gravity is another example. And then we can give other examples like chemicals. Chemicals are also good examples of stimuli. Those are examples of stimuli. We have given example of sunlight, temperature, water, gravity, and different chemicals. Plants can grow towards the stimuli, or they can grow away from the stimuli. And when they grow towards the stimuli or stimulus when it is one, that is what we call positive tropism. When plants grow away from the stimulus, that is what we call negative tropism. Then we also have stimuli. Stimuli that is in plural, and stimulus in singular when it is one. Stimuli are things that provoke a response or activity, or that cause organs or tissues in the body to react in a certain way. When organs of the body react in a certain way, that can be caused by stimulus or stimuli. Or when tissues respond to stimulus in a certain way, that is what we call reaction. So when we talk about tissue, we mean a group of cells which are specialized to perform a particular function. When cells are together and they are adapted or they are specialized to perform a particular function, that's what we call a tissue. Then response is an action or movement due to application of stimulus. That means when a plant grows towards a stimulus, that is what we call response. Then from there, let us talk about different types of tropism. Dear students, which type of tropism do you know? I need your views. I need you to actively participate as I requested you. I need you to give me an example of one type of tropism. Excellent. We have phototropism. One example is phototropism. And what do you understand when we talk about phototropism? Remember, photo is about light, and tropism is the plant's response towards the stimulus. Here, we say plants grow towards or away from light. The type of tropism in the response to light is called phototropism. In general, stems usually show positive phototropism. Dear students, do you understand the meaning of the term stem? Remember, when we are talking about organs which make the plant, or the main organs of the plant, we talk about roots, stem, leaves, and flowers. So stems respond towards light, and that is what we call positive tropism or positive phototropism, because the stem is responding towards light. In this sense, we say light is the stimulus. While roots show negative phototropism. That means roots move away from light. This is understood because roots grow underground or in the soil, so they don't grow towards light. Leaves are positively respond to the source of light. Leaves also positively respond towards the source of light. That means positive phototropism. In few words, phototropism is the response of the plant towards light. Take an example. Here we have plants, and of course, think about the main organs of the plant. Roots in the soil, then this one is the stem, these are leaves, and then these are flowers. So these plants respond to sunlight, and that is what we call phototropism. Why does this happen? Remember, these plants have leaves and the stem. They are green in color because they carry out the process of photosynthesis. So these leaves must be exposed so that they are able to absorb sunlight, which is needed in the process of photosynthesis. Remember, one of the requirements of photosynthesis is sunlight. In the process of photosynthesis, we need carbon dioxide, there's need for water, sunlight, and chlorophyll. When those requirements are present, then the process of photosynthesis will take place in leaves, which you have seen, and then glucose and oxygen will be produced. Glucose can be used by plants in different functions because it produces energy, and remember, organisms need energy, and then oxygen can be given out as a byproduct of the plant, but of course that oxygen is needed by other animals. So one of the type of tropism is phototropism. We also have the second one, which is gravitropism. This one we can also call it geotropism. And do you know what gravitropism means? What is it? Here we have gravi, which is about gravity, and then we have also the term we defined, which is tropism. So gravitropism is a type of tropism where plants show some growth in response to gravity. That means plants respond towards gravity. Stems are negative to gravitropism. That means, remember, stems grow towards light and they grow away from gravity. So that's why they have negative gravitropism. While roots are positive to gravitropism, meaning roots grow towards gravity in the soil. So that's why we say they have positive gravitropism. This can also be referred to as geotropism. Among different parts of plants, the primary root and certain other portions of the root system show positive geotropism by growing directly towards the center of gravity. That means roots grow towards gravity, and that is what we call positive gravitropism. While stem grows away from gravity, and that is what we call negative gravitropism. Another term which can be used to mean gravitropism is what we call geotropism. So that is another part or another type of tropism. As you see on this diagram, we have parts of the plant we have talked about. We have roots, we have the stem, we have leaves, and then on top we can have flowers. So you can see these roots are growing towards gravity, going into the soil or underground. While this shoot, remember when we talk about shoot, we mean upper parts of the plant. Dear students, do you know the meaning of this term? Shoot. When we talk about shoot, we mean upper parts of the plant. We talk about the stem, we talk about leaves, we also talk about flowers. Those parts make what we call shoot. And here we exclude, we don't include roots because they are underground. So the shoot grows towards light and away from gravity. So in this case we say negative gravitropism or negative geotropism. Then we also have these roots growing towards gravity. That is what we call positive geotropism or positive gravitropism. Dear students, don't confuse these terms, gravitropism and geotropism. They are used interchangeably and they mean the same thing. The growth of the plant's organ or part towards gravity. Then another type of tropism. Can you give one? We have given phototropism and gravitropism. Excellent. There's also hydrotropism. Hydrotropism. Here we have hydro, and this means water. So in other words, this is the response of the plant towards water. Do you get that? Hydrotropism is the response of the plant towards water. So we say the movement or growth of the plant in relation to the stimulus of water is called hydrotropic movements, and the equivalent response to the stimulus of water is called hydrotropism, the third type of tropism we have talked about. In this type of movement, roots show positive hydrotropic response or positive hydrotropism as they move and grow towards water. Roots underground, roots in the soil, like let us say we have our plant. These are roots. And then this is soil because this is underground. And then, as you can see, we have the stem. Then here we can have leaves. Leaves. Then on top here we will have the flower. This is the flower. This is a leaf. And then, as you can see, we have flower, we have leaf, and then we have stem and roots. Roots underground will grow towards water, and that is what we call positive hydrotropism. Remember, plants need water. Water is needed in the process of photosynthesis. Water is needed to cool the plant. Water can be used to transport different mineral salts to upper parts of the plant, meaning water is very important. So that's why we study the third type called hydrotropism. Then another type of tropism is also there. And can you mention that? Can you mention another type of tropism? We have what we call thermotropism. Number 4, we have what we call thermotropism. And when we talk about thermotropism, thermo is about temperature. That means plants can respond to temperature. Because remember, plants are living organisms. Living organisms have enzymes. Enzymes are very sensitive to temperature because chemical reactions in living organisms are controlled by enzymes. Sometimes plants can change shape purposely to prevent water loss or to have a way of eliminating excess water, and that one is also among this type of tropism, which is thermotropism. Like you see in hot temperature, this is how this plant will behave, and in cold temperature, this is how it is behaving. So that is the fourth type of tropism, which is called thermotropism. Then we also have what we call thigmotropism. The fifth type of tropism, thigmotropism. This is about touch, and of course tropism is the response of the plant towards the stimulus. The growing or developing movements made through the plants in response to contact with a solid object are called thigmotropism. These type of movements are usually seen in tendrils and twinners. Do you know tendrils? Excellent. If you know tendrils, that is good. And this movement is also referred as haptotropism, thigmotropism or haptotropism. The response of the plant or plant organs towards touch. Like you see, this is very common in our villages where we grow beans or even peas. They need support from trees so that the tendrils or stem tendrils can attach there. Like you see this happening. Like you see it happening here. Stem tendrils help the plant to climb up a support. And remember, when this happens, plants are supported, and this provides enough surface area for the plant parts like stem and leaves, so that leaves are exposed to sunlight. And then if they're exposed to sunlight, that means they can easily absorb light rays, and they can be used in the process of photosynthesis. The leaves are also exposed so that stomata are exposed to get carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, because remember, carbon dioxide is used in the process of photosynthesis. They're also exposed so that stomata can easily eliminate oxygen, which is produced in the process of photosynthesis and is not needed by these plants, so that that oxygen can be used by animals in the process of aerobic respiration. Chemotropism is another type of tropism. Chemotropism is another type of tropism where plants respond to chemicals. Here, we can think about chemicals like nitrogen, potassium, sulfur, and phosphorus. So those are chemicals we find underground, and plants can respond towards them. Remember, when we talk about fertilizer, when we add fertilizer in the soil, let us take an example of fertilizer NPK, where we have nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are chemicals which are needed by plants. So plants have roots which move towards those chemicals so that they can absorb them. These are needed in different functions of plants, like they are needed in the formation of proteins to prevent some diseases and for proper growth, and so they can be absorbed by roots. So that is what we call positive chemotropism. So, dear students, you can see these plants can also be exposed to chemicals, and this is very important in pollination. Dear students, let us make a quick review of our lesson today. We have talked about tropism. We have also talked about 6 different types of tropism. Now, I have homework so that you can test your level of understanding. Question number 1, define the term tropism. Number 2, what is the difference between positive and negative phototropism? Question number 3, in your own words, explain the following types of tropism: hydrotropism, thermotropism, phototropism, chemotropism, thigmotropism, and gravitropism. Last question, why is hydrotropism important to plants? Dear students, thank you very much for your active participation. I request you to do homework. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the day.